Welcome back to San Jose. Avaya Stadium is the scene for the inaugural Silicon Valley Sevens. We are ready for the final matches of this grueling two-day tournament. First up is the battle for 7th place, and rarely will you see New Zealand in a battle for 7th place, Gareth Rees, but that's exactly where they fall.
They are, after a compelling game with Fiji, their bitter rivals. They lost that one, and they'll be taking on the Japanese. A lot to play for here, though. It's a good atmosphere building here Sunday night in San Jose. Been a fantastic tournament, and New Zealand have got better with every game, it must be said.
Japan with some nifty players. One of the stalwarts for them for years has been the man wearing the number 4 jersey, Lote Tuangiri. He's surrounded by some men who've proven themselves to be able to finish to compete in the contact area.
They have, but one casualty who will not be wearing that white shirt from Japan was Jose Seru, who put in a dangerous tackle and received a full red card in the last match, so he will not be available, and he has been a big impact player for the Cherry Blossoms.
Yeah, the aforementioned Seru by Gareth Rees, really your favorite player for Japan on the weekend. He's been the ball winner. He's also been kind of a rangy customer, one of the offload specialists for this Japanese team. Meanwhile, New Zealand, an interesting story. This young New Zealand team, they've got some talent really for the future on the team. Really, Luke Masarewa, the lone World Series participant for the Men in Black, but they've shown flashes of brilliance on the weekend. Couldn't stay with Fiji, who finally became Fiji in the match against New Zealand in the 5th place semifinal. Fiji won and put New Zealand into this match. So with the ball at midfield is Uturu Laulala.
We are under the lights here in Avaya Stadium, normally the home of San Jose Earthquakes of the MLS, but it's 6 p.m. on Sunday night, and it's rugby time.
Oh, kicked smartly forward. Almost a try to open this campaign for the youngsters from New Zealand.
Look at this.
But the ball just drifts into touch. Nice little nudge forward.
The ball must have hit the line right there because his feet didn't.
And that is Chase Tiatia, a familiar rugby name. Philo Tiatia, a family member of Chase, who has played for the All Blacks. And there is Tungiri, digs it out. And it's Michael Shinomiya, who's been good for Japan all weekend. And with a nudge into touch, and provides a little bit of breathing space for for the Japanese.
Yeah, a rare tactic, kicking for touch, but late on in the late pool stages. Sometimes an option. The referee in the middle today is referee Chowdhury. All these refs in the fantastic Rhino green shirts have done a really good job. You know, what you're looking for from referees is when the players decide the matches, and that's what we've seen so far in the Silicon Valley Sevens. New Zealand in attack, playing with complete width.
And that's Emerson around the corner. And Motomura does well to bottle him up before he scoots down the sideline. TJ Viega wearing the number 10. Tia looking wide to Emerson.
You could see what he was trying to do, go over the top to Emerson again, but just didn't get his hands free enough.
Steep learning curve for these young All Blacks Sevens team members on the weekend. And that's the reason why they're here, is to get some experience on the international stage. And this Silicon Valley Sevens has provided just that for a lot of the teams that are here. Good mix of experienced players and new players. And there is Noguchi. And he gives it off to Shinomiya. Ball comes back. Dallas Tatana plays it from the ground. And then Tungiri there to clean it up.
Good set piece move from Japan. Now it's the give and go.
And Noguchi looks for space and then gives it back to Dallas Tatana. Tatana not held, so he crawls forward for a few extra meters. Tungiri playing the large role of scrum half. And Taisi Hayashi on the ground and doesn't let go of the ball, and so penalty goes to New Zealand. We're still scoreless here, halfway through first half of this 7th place final match.
Hayashi just got a little isolated there. No support around, so New Zealand will take their time.
So it's Viega out to Laulala, and that is the big number 5, Luke Masarewa. Laulala. Pass fumbled out of his hands, but ends up in Viega's hands. And this big man, Jesse Houston, just completely shucking the tackle of the Japanese defender, and then eventually in the hands of Mason Emerson. And Emerson dots down for the first score of the game. Nice try from New Zealand.
Well, how about Jesse Houston? Look at this. He is attacking the defender. Sit down. I think he probably could have kept going here, but he offloaded in time, and Emerson on the other wing. Sorry. Emerson came all the way over for a score.
Motomura looking around for his big boy pants somewhere. Got to bring them if you're going to try to put Jesse Houston on the ground.
I think Houston's kind of evolved into his role here. He sort of a DJ Forbes kind of thing he's got going on.
Yeah.
You know, when it's a little too lateral, he just goes straight up the park and takes it up hard. And he succeeded there.
And they've kind of got a 1-2 punch off the bench. You'll see Houston, and he'll go as far as he can, and then they'll bring in Highland. And Jordan Highland also a load in the tackle area. Oh, great take there by number 4, Celesi Rayasi.
Well, there is Celesi. Showboating it a little bit. He was a player with a lot of high hopes for. He's obviously got touches of brilliance like this. But I think probably the outcome for this tournament, he's maybe not the complete sevens player yet. This is the quality of this tournament. It's exposed to some of these young players that there's more to the game than just dancing in the end zone after an outstanding catch. There's both sides of the ball you got to play.
You can see the dance he did was right in front of Lote Tungiri, and Tungiri not impressed.
Yeah. He may pay the price for that later on. We'll see. Stay tuned here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this young man, Rayasi, 6'5" and just over 250 pounds, the top try scorer in the Auckland Sevens this year. And the ball bounces kindly for Japan and then through the legs of Michael Shinomiya. He drives forward, takes Mason Emerson for a few meters. Tungiri gives it, gets it back. Now rolls it back for Motomura. Motomura gets to his feet, plays the ball once again. There's Tungiri once again, but hands, nope, it's not released by Japan, and so a nice job on the ground.
Got to say, Brian, a lot of work's been done on the global game, World Rugby, on the tackle area, especially in the sevens game, and I credit to the crew that's been working on it. It's very clear now what you can and can't do on the ground, and I think it really benefits the game. And even a term like this, it's just an official World Series stop. It's pretty clear for the refs and the players what's allowed and what isn't. And you don't see much arguing.
So a penalty for an intentional knock-on, says the referee, and that is Laulala. And Laulala, Lutaru Laulala, two brothers who've already played for the All Blacks. And Laulala dots it down after some good individual work. Just the tap, the go. Leg drive, drags Lote Tungiri across the line, and New Zealand starts to extend their lead. 17-0 with the conversion to come from the try scorer, La La La.
Well, we used to see this with Gordon Titchen's teams when he was in charge of New Zealand Sevens. They would get better as the tournament progressed, often playing their best rugby in the final. This is, of course, a 7th place match, but so far New Zealand have been playing their best rugby of the weekend.
So at the half, it's New Zealand 19, Japan yet to score. We'll be back for the second half in just a minute. Back for the second half of this 7th place game. Japan down 19-0 to the New Zealand All Black Sevens team. New Zealand so far losses in pool play yesterday to Chile, one of the unexpected results of the tournament. So losses to Chile and the United States. Then they defeated Tonga and then started their campaign today with losses against Australia and then Fiji. And so 4 losses on the weekend out of 6 games. They'll look to end with a victory here.
Well, definitely a rebuilding phase for New Zealand. Changed the coach again for this season. I'm looking to recapture some of that magic, as we mentioned, the Gordon Titchen era, but the Sevens world is so much more competitive than it was back in those years. So many other nations taking it seriously, and with the advent of the Olympics, other nations getting involved in the party.
Well, that's great stuff from Salesi Rayasi, and draws 2 defenders, somehow is able to wiggle free with that left arm and deliver a pass to Mason Emerson. Emerson just scoots diagonally across the field. Look at this. Just wraps around the tackle of Tungiri. Easy try for Mason Emerson.
Oh, Emerson didn't get it, baby. Look, he passed it off to his buddy. Maega took it off of his score.
So things getting a little looser out on the field, and the boys from New Zealand having a little bit of fun, which is good to see. Youngsters unwinding. Definitely can get a little stressful, especially if you're wearing the silver fern and you're not winning games. Whether you're young and a debutante or an aged veteran, the expectation is that you'll be winning matches. So looks like this game they've decided to have a little fun, Gareth.
Yep. We're actually there, kicking the ball out of the ruck, no longer allowed.
So the kicking specialist called in from the corner. And from their own 22, they'll cross over the halfway line, and they'll have a line out just on the other side of the midfield stripe. Here is Oscar Murata with the throw. And forwards there, Shinomiya, Tungiri, Tatana. Tatana in the air. Uncontested line out, and so Tungiri spins out of a tackle and then to the ground. Shinomiya to the captain, Daiyozawa.
The referee's gone back to the original penalty as that ball was caught in the line out. All the New Zealand backs were offside. So he's giving them a little bit of extra advantage. Well, Japan slowing everything down. I don't know if this is if they're done or this is a tactic they decided on and they're sticking to it.
We saw some tired bodies in the last frame.
Yeah, and as far as the cycle goes, this really is one of the first tournaments of the season for these players.
Yeah,
ramps up in Dubai. A couple of teams have been in Europe, but yeah, this is the early days, and Oceania is going to be very interesting next week, Brian. Qualifying tournament.
Yeah, 2 spots left from Oceania for the World Cup Sevens 2018 in San Francisco. That'll be in July. So here is Tupou. And Tupou with a leg drive. Tupou driving towards the line. He's a meter out. Ball back to Murata. He finds Dallas, Tatana, and Tatana crosses over. Nope.
Referee saying there was a head high, so he's brought it all the way back. So it must have been a forward pass to put Tatana away. Advantage to Japan.
Tunigiri digs it out. He's got options on the left. He'll go to Oscar Murata, and the ball spills forward after the attempt at intercept from New Zealand, and instead it's a try for Japan.
Japan taking the goose egg off the board finally. Good width from them.
So 26-5, the score. The score by number 12, Naoki Motomura. And the ball bounces on the ground, careens off the body of Jordan Highland. So play on. Here is Te Rangatira Watokia.
If we're playing basketball, Brian, this is kind of garbage time, but it is also an opportunity for players to try something. You know, the pressure's off, a little risky move, or their best sidestep they've been working on in practice.
So Vaenga lays it back for Watokia. Better defense now from Japan. Out to Highland. Highland's got Emerson. Highland's dropped, but not before Emerson gets the ball and then delivers it to Vaenga. It's thrown backwards and almost bounces kindly for Motomura, the try scorer, but instead he knocks it into touch.
Hands on hips, always a sign. 6 games, 2 days. Lots of work.
So
almost a gift here as that ball didn't quite bounce up high enough.
Here come the subs for Japan in the game. Hayashi, Noguchi are in. Out comes Motomura. Out comes Tatana. Masarewa goes up, pulls it down for Highland. And now it's Vaenga. Vaenga breaking a few tackles, gives it back to Masarewa. Masarewa. Oh. Just the big bunt off of a would-be tackler. Vaenga sets it up straight ahead. Highland with the ball, lays it back for Masarewa. He kicks it into touch. They'll take the victory 26-5. It is 7th place for New Zealand.
Look at that body language. Some players have worked hard. Not necessarily the result they wanted, but they did get a win in their last one.
Some early season conditioning perhaps for both of these teams, and congratulations to both participants. Japan, some great rugby, perhaps playing their best rugby yesterday when they managed to tie Fiji after blowing out China 47-0. Japan was very good on day one and just seemed to lose its legs a little bit on day two. And New Zealand, some hopeful moments for New Zealand. If you're Tomasi Thama and maybe Clark Laidlaw, we'll see some tape of this down the road. I think there's some athletes that you got to get excited about. We've mentioned Rayasi's name several times, but I think there's some other people who've put their hand up as well. Jesse Houston as potentially a forward, I think is a good one. And some of the backs, maybe if they had a little bit more space to express themselves, would have shown a little bit better this weekend as well.
Yeah, I think Clark Laidlaw will use this. Look at the handshakes going in. But he will use this. A lot of learnings. And the sevens game, you can only learn by being in tournaments like this, how players progress over the weekend, what they do under pressure, what they do against world-class opposition. And the Silicon Valley Sevens has definitely provided that for Clark Laidlaw.
Well, coming up, it is two island nations and just a long canoe ride, really, between them. Gareth, if you've got time and a good paddle, Fiji versus Samoa, and we've seen the flashes of brilliance from this Fijian team. Two absolutely amazing tries in the last match against New Zealand, and it looked like Fiji of old had stepped back on the field, and they've been highly anticipated throughout the weekend. And they'll go up against Samoa, a resurgent Samoa after some fumbles and bumbles yesterday. They made it into the quarterfinals, and they played some good rugby, but will be playing for 5th place.
Yeah, well, this is technically the 5th place game. This is the final for all the rivals, the Fijians and the Samoans. This is a matchup they love to have. Fiji have really owned it over the years, but look at that flag. They are incredible supporters and lovers of the Sevens brand.
Yeah, there's a row of Fijian flags all the way across. Right behind the in-goal area by the big screen. There they are. No doubt about who has more supporters in the stands, but that's just Sevens rugby. If the Fijians show up, they will bring the fans with them. So there's Joseph Veramalua, specialist in the high ball, and well taken by Samoa.
You've got to say that Fiji is a much bigger side physically than Samoa, but Samoa won't be intimidated by aggressive physical play. That's what they get at home.
Yeah, and this could be very confrontational if it plays out like a lot of these battles do. And the number 9 so far, David Tavita, looked strong with ball in hand. They're looking for Perez on the corner. He's the danger man. And bottled up and out to Matty Tuatongaloa. And the electric feet there of Murphy Penatito. Can't get through the Fijian defense, which seems to be a little more staunch in the last couple games. Might that be because of some of the impassioned words of their coach, Siasi Fuli?
Yeah, once again, Penatito causing problems. And the other issue for Fiji is they don't know this guy very well. They haven't seen him. As you said, he's fresh out of the village, really. And, they don't know what to expect from him.
And one of the things Gordon Chitchen said about this young Murphy Penatito is that he reminds him a lot of Uali Mai. Uali Mai, the longtime scrum half for the Samoan team, and for a while the most experienced man on the World Series circuit.
Yeah, no greater compliment I don't think you could get. There's this bizarre situation we get. He's held up. It's not a tackle. It's not a maul because there's no one else. So it's something we need to look at within the laws, I think.
Yep. So now they're going to have to work.
As soon as his knee goes down, it becomes a tackle, and they have to let go of him.
And they do. Defense needs to be out wide. And skirting across the line is Malu Falaniko. Well, one of the ploys of Sevens rugby that we see now quite often. And when it first happened, we were a little bit taken aback by the strategy, but technically walk us through why that maul was never a maul.
Well, there's not a second Samoan player joining, and it's not a tackle because his knee's not on the ground. So when you saw that fourth Fijian arrive, it was really, they've committed so much to it. If the ball does get out, and it did once it fell down, and Falaniko was not unmarked, but had more space than he had previously. So it's a bit of an anomaly in the game. You don't see it in the 15s game too often.
Yeah, it's basically an uncompleted tackle because there's no maul, and so everybody's just waiting for the ball carrier to either reach the ground or for the opposing team to strip the ball away from him. That time, as soon as the player goes to the ground, the opposition has to release him. That's exactly what happened, and Falaniko goes across for the first Samoan try. But now, first chance for Fiji with ball in hand, and there is Leo Nakasau. Check that with the headgear on. That is number 8, Alavoso Rato. Bakuri Nombili. But the ball spills out of Fijian hands and back into Samoa. Now knocked on by Joe Perez, and so it'll be a scrum to Fiji.
Bizarre kind of aimless kick there from Fiji. Samoa gathered it, but Perez knocked it on.
And on the near touch line, right in the 5-meter channel, we've got a Samoan player on the ground. So the referee's going to come over and assess the situation, maybe have a word with the AR to see if there's any causality in this downed player.
Lots to cheer about for that, man. 5-0 up, Samoa. Some would have bet against that, given the performance of Fiji in their last game. And then right across the aisle, Fijians are cheering like this, and they're down. So wait till you get a sense when they get up and score some amazing tries.
And that's the try scorer right there, Malu Falaniko. And so Samoa Taloa, an experienced member of this Samoan team, will take his place on the wing.
Still Fiji scrum with the whole width of the field to work with. Here's the chip that was kind of aimless. And yeah, it didn't really go to hand. So off we go, scrum Fiji ball.
So Fiji trying to erase the goose egg on the scoreboard. There is Amanoni Nasilasila, backdoor flick, but can't find the hand of number 2, Vakuri Nombili. And the kick ahead by Darren Kellett-Moore. Check that, that's Motunga. And with the ball now is Ratundamu. Ratundamu lays it back for Rauto.
What I'm noticing here, Brian, these kind of one-handed passes and this fantastic skill. The Samoans are less taken by it, less surprised by it, much more used to that style. So they're able to snub out that attack up the right-hand side. Whereas New Zealanders got caught a little bit flat-footed in the semifinal. What a run by Ratundamu, though.
Surprising this weekend, really an absence of the wide game for Fiji. Haven't really seen that long pass out to the wing with a streaking player. There is Rauto. A good tackle. Almost touches the line, and you can see the assistant referee right on the case. There's Bettina. He's been good this weekend. Bettina throws a big looping pass over the top to Vera Malua. Vera Malua looking back inside, trying to find Nasila Sila. Instead, finds the hands of number 12. That is Tuatongaloa. And now back to Tuatongaloa. Murphy Penatito, tackled by Bettina.
Fijian players in trouble here.
Fast and furious here in the battle for 5th place. Numbers outside. Perez on the corner. And stretching over the line is Samoa Taloa.
Well, right now it's Samoa providing all the inspiration. They're pouncing on the loose ball. Taloa, fresh off the bench, showing his experience. And Fiji are being caught out a little bit at their own game. Some of these loose passes are being intercepted by the Samoans. Great start for them, up 2 scores with a conversion to come.
And Gareth, we haven't seen the starting scrum half for Samoa in the first 3 games was Patrick Fa'apale, and we haven't seen him throughout day 2, and I wonder if he maybe had an injury on day 1. Certainly a missing experienced player, and how good is that? Murphy Penatito gets one to glance off the near post and just finds its way across the bar. So 12-0, Samoa over Fiji at the break. Great scenes from the halftime huddles here for this 5th place battle between 2 island nations. Fiji, known for its flamboyant style, and Samoa, known for its hard running and physical play. But it's been Samoa so far that's found pay dirt in goal, and they've scored twice. Fiji denied. A bit surprising after what we saw from the last game from Fiji, Gareth Rees.
Well, I think I sensed they were getting a bit of a talking to in that halftime huddle. And this next kickoff could set the tone for the next 7 minutes.
So the ball goes high up in the air, but it's not going to go 10 meters. And eventually it does, and scooped up very nicely by Joe Perez, who scouts it out but knocks it forward after going to the ground. And so Fiji kind of watching the ball and thinking it's not going to go 10 meters, and all of a sudden it hits the ground and goes across that paint.
The bouncers are going Samoa's way at the moment. A man down on the field, going to have a time off.
Yeah, just a little timeout to tie the shoe.
And a sub, and look who's coming on the field. Ukayalia, who was superb in the last game.
Natani Baki Alia, who is now on the wing for Fiji. And off comes Aroni Vufango.
Ratandamu on for him.
Ball fed by Nasila Sila. And out it goes to the young speedster. We'll see if he can turn the corner. Instead, finds the ground, and then the counter ruck by Samoa is awesome. They show up in numbers, and they bulldog the Fijians off the ball. And there's Penatito. He goes quickly. Referee holding out the hand. I don't think that Fiji was back far enough for his liking, and so they'll get another chance. Samoa playing through the advantage. Jacob Ale trying to go alone, and he squirts over. He scores another try for Samoa. Fiji in trouble here in the second half.
How many times this weekend did they go to the big man? Ale, 5 meters out, picked. He was hit. He spun the other way. He was hit again, and he spun back again to touch it down under the poles.
Well, there's some players that do really well to avoid contact, and that's their game. And then there's some players who look for contact. And Jacob Ale, whether he's on defense or with ball in hand, is always looking for contact, loves to lower the shoulder.
There he is, number 1 on his back. Look what he goes. Hard yard. He's tackled. He spins. He's tackled again. Well, then I'll go back the other way. But credit Samoa. You noted they turned that ball over. 3 of them hit the ruck when Fiji got exposed out wide and turned that ball over.
And a lesson for young Natani Vakialia, because they really baited him to the corner and then they trapped him and stole it from him. So it's Rauto. There's Vakuri Nambili. And the ball knocked on by Fiji. Things go from bad to worse.
Well, this, to me, puts into perspective all those great Fijian teams over the years. All those one-handed passes we saw in the last game, all those sublime touches, they're not going to hand right now. It's not working. And Fiji's coming unstitched.
And here comes Leo Nakasau for Rauto. And Darren Kellett-Moore will come in to replace looks like number 8, Alessio. Nope. It's David Tavita. So Tavita's off. There is Murphy Penatito. Numbers for Samoa. The drift defense must be good for Fiji to stop this one. Samoa just outworking Fiji on the ground right now. A great cover tackle by Nakasau. Looked like that ball might have drifted forward, but referee says play on, and number 5, Motunga. Alamanda Motunga touches down.
Well, the Tongans have found someone to support. I think that pass was forward, but credit this young Samoan side for the offloads, keeping it going. So this first one looks okay. It's this one off the ground.
One's fine.
It'll be hard to.
Questionable.
Yeah, referee's in good position. Got to give him credit. It's referee Schneider.
Yeah, like you said, credit Samoa. They're the ones that are applying the pressure right now, and Fiji just doesn't have an answer.
Fiji have done some amazing things in sevens over the years, but 26 points in 2 minutes 10 is not one of them.
So Nasila Sila lifted high up in the air and then lays the ball back for number 9. That's Ratuni Yarawa. And now the youngster gets another chance on the corner. Vakialia. Out to Bettina. Now a little shake and bake from number 9, Ratuni Yarawa. And the captain, Veramalua, one-handed dish, and that is finally going to break open for Viliami Mbalailai. Quick kick coming. Conversion's good. Fiji needs 3 more scores in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Gareth Rees.
Well, I thought we were going to see this from the start of the game. The big, getting those hands free, those big wingspan, making those offloads. Just haven't been able to keep possession.
So the big swatting arm in the attempt at the restart, but it's taken nicely. And there's Fa'apale, no injuries, so it's good to see Fa'apale back in the match for Samoa. I think what they've decided to do is just go with Murphy Penatito at scrum half because he's played so well. Kellett Moore out to Fa'apale to Motunga. Motunga out to Talamau. Talamau back to Motunga. Motunga finds Fa'apale. Fa'apale inside, outside, and should have just gone.
What was he doing?
Quick throw. And the dish. And a good hard shoulder by Talamau, but
that's up
too high, says the referee. 2 seconds left on the clock, and Nasila Sila. Well, he'll be chased. No freebies here. And that is Leo Nakasau.
Oh.
And he gives the big shoulder. And the overhand, the football pass from Nakasau to Mbalailai. And there's the youngster, Vakayalia. Oh, he slips, cuts off the wrong foot, but still enough white shirts to do the damage.
The consummate entertainers right to the end.
And Fiji will end their campaign with a try, but a loss to Samoa. 26 points to 12. Kick to come. It won't make a difference. The 5th place winner of this match is Samoa. And all credit to the men in blue, Gareth.
Look at that. The lungs are literally bursting.
Yeah, but they're the ones who controlled the tempo of this game. And really, you can tell that the intensity was there for Samoa in spades compared to their Islander counterparts.
Yeah, I thought so. They showed a lot of hunger, and maybe their youth was on their side here because they put it together at the right moments and kind of took Fiji out of this game early on.
So the Samoans take a bow. 2 matches left tonight at the Silicon Valley Sevens, and the first is the 3rd place match, and that'll pit Chile against England. And as these 2 opponents get ready in the tunnel, down below us, a great scene. Gareth, guaranteed that there's a prayer going on in each of these huddles. The Samoans below us and the Fijians below us.
We're a few seconds late starting this match. We lost the Chileans. They didn't show up. But I'll tell you what, they showed up in this tournament, and they're doing it their own way. We noted in the week, they didn't complete all their training sessions, not all their gym sessions, but boy, do they put on a show on the field. And now they've got a tough one against England.
To me, something amusing happening right now is Fiji will stay in their huddle, and there's perhaps a elongated prayer going on in the technical zone of what is now the Chilean side of the field. So at some point, they're going to have to move, and tournament director John Hinkin ushers the Fijians away out of the technical zone.
That could be the bravest thing John Hinkin's done in a long time.
That was a bold move. I'm not sure I would want to do that here. John Hinkin just single-handedly moved 12 Fijians.
So we can get this game going. England going to be kicking off.
So it's Chile versus England. And you could make the case here, Gareth, that the Chileans actually have more international experience to a man than this English squad does.
They do, especially as the English coaches are playing a few of the youngsters we haven't seen so far. There's one of them right there. Couldn't quite hold on to the ball.
And a turnover. And there is Ignacio Silva wearing the number 7. Nacho. Back to Torrealba. Scooped up nicely. That is the captain, Brangier. Brangier fights through a tackle. He'll fend off Ryan Oluwafela. He's got support, and he gets it to him. Fernandez for Chile. First try of the match.
Are we surprised, Brian?
No, you know what? I was just thinking, if this was the first match of the tournament, might have been a little surprised, but the way Chile has played throughout these last 2 days, nobody in this crowd is surprised to see that exchange from Brangier to Fernandez.
You know what I'm thinking? He's going, hey, you young guys, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to break the line. I'm going to fend this guy off about 3 or 4 times. Could someone get here so I can offload it?
Do I have to do this every time? Well, Brangier has been a great captain for this Chilean team, as we see Torrealba in a woeful attempt at the conversion, but the try nonetheless. And so it's 5-0. So
Fijians saying goodbye after, sorry, Brian, but after a brave tournament, a lot of their fans here. This is part of the Sevens tradition.
Great job by Chile. Once again, they win the kickoff. There's Ignacio Silva. There's Torrealba. And back again to Felipe Brangier, who drags 3 with him, lays it back. And there's Fernandez, the try scorer, to Silva. Now it's Uros. He's got 2 outside. Pedro Verschai. Uros gets it back out of the ruck.
Those England players were never on side.
Oh, this could be good again for Chile. They're working 2-on-1, but referee says forward pass.
Sorry to step on you there, Brian, but that's material to me. They never got back. So when Chile came back with the counterattack, there was no room. It ends up a Chile forward pass, but the referees need to monitor that. Referee Dolman needs to pick that up. Aha, there they are.
It's a good look at some Fijian supporters.
You know, these guys are great ambassadors. They spend their whole week here taking photos of these supporters. They always stop. They're always incredibly respectful.
So England hasn't had really any ball to speak of, and the only time that they did have it, it was stolen by Chile. Good pressure from Torrealba. Oluwafela on the corner, looking for some space. The tackle is made by Fernandez. A nice job there. Ball almost ends up in Chilean hands once again, but it's spun out, and this is Glover.
He is silky, man.
Yeah, he is, and he's got support. And that is number 5, George Ducati.
One of the players who hasn't seen a lot of time in this competition, but he's been given his opportunity here in the 3rd place match, and he took it right through the middle there in a supporting role.
So George Ducati from Loughborough University with the opening try for England, and then the conversion good by Will Edwards.
Glad you didn't say Loughborough like a lot of your American cousins do when they talk about Loughborough, the great sport university up near Leicester. A lot of great players to come from there. Now it's Samoa's turn to thank their fans. And England right back in this one on the field.
Rose high over the ball, and little footwork there. The dance by Vershai. And Ignacio Silva busts a tackle and then sets the ball free. Torre Alba and Rose. He has one on the corner. This is DeWitts. Torre Alba trying to create some space here. Does well to keep the ball, draw a couple of defenders. Now Vershai. Up comes Glover. The kick across. It's a beautiful kick to Fernandez. It hangs up nicely, but he's tackled well by Ducati.
Referee says play on.
Is free for Edwards. Glover with a, like you said, just a smooth step. And here comes Arose across. Great cover defense by Arose.
Wow, textbook tackle in the cover. Referee's going to his pocket. This may be a little bit harsh to me. The ball was knocked down right after this. As England pick up the ball, Brangier comes in and lays out one of the English players just after that moment.
So Edwards finds Dewar. Dewar's going to score. So England puts another one in on Chile.
So a big turn of events there. Chile got one in the sin bin, and they've been scored upon.
And a massive shift in momentum as well from the turnover. And the kick across to Fernandez was good, but then he was a little bit isolated. So
usually those kicks go into the real pacemen, so when they do gather it, you know, they're going to be able to finish, and Fernandez couldn't finish it.
So England can't convert. It's still just 7 points difference. Although Chile will be down to 6 players after a yellow card. Zeros on the clock. There will be time for the restart kick, though. And it goes just 10 meters. It's a beautiful kick, and Harry Glover does well to gather it by himself. He's got a man outside, and the ball's knocked forward mercifully for Chile, who gets to go into the halftime break down only a try. And that'll do it here in the first half of this third-place match between Chile and England. Some great animated stuff from the head coach, Edmundo Alfos, in the Chilean huddle, imploring the Condors They are only 7 points away at this point. Well within their reach from the Chile that we know from the weekend, Gareth.
Yeah. And Alphonse is pretty upset with the referee at the end of that first half. A couple of calls he didn't like, and Brangier went and had a word as well. But you're right. Is this the dawn of Chilean sevens rugby? The new start?
And still with 2 spots in the South American region for the World Cup Sevens in 2018 in July, it looks like Chile would lock up one of those spots easily based on the way they're playing right now.
Of course, Argentina pre-qualified through their previous results, but yeah, Brazil have made great strides in their rugby. Uruguay, a good rugby nation, but I don't think anyone's put together a 7th performance like Chile have this weekend against some of the best players in the world. That's what makes it so impressive.
So it's Fernandez.
Ooh,
this could be trouble for Chile once again. Glover goes up. It's a potential yellow card situation. That is the captain, Brangier. And Brangier is going to sit. And this is going to be a 7-on-5 situation.
Yeah, good shot from our crew there. And Brangier is claiming he was looking at the ball, which he was. But that doesn't abdicate your responsibility to look after that player who's in the air.
So it's Gordon. Gordon on the touchline there. Gets it back. Number 6, Gyrie. There's Ducati. Back to Edwards. Edwards steps inside Uros. And not enough defenders left. And there's only 5 men on the field for Chile.
Well, on the field, it's only a matter of time, 7 against 5, although they will get 1 back after this try. Off the field, lots of fun happening. Those supporters. Samoans still saying goodbye. It's all England right now.
17-5, difficult conversion to come. Still lots of time left in this second half of play, and we'll get the 6th man come on for Chile. They'll still be down 1 man after 2 consecutive yellow cards.
And Brian, the stats are pretty overwhelming of points scored against you when you're a man short in sevens rugby. And unlike, say, the NHL, where your man in the penalty box comes back on the field when you're scored against, that doesn't happen in rugby. You serve your full 2 minutes, so England will kick off having scored here, still with a 1-man advantage.
And so it'll be Edwards once again. He's been kind of the linchpin for this England squad. Edwards, Glover, really leading the charge here this weekend.
And that's why the kicking tactic. He was supposed to go off the field just to kill some time, but now it's stayed on, and they don't have their extra man on.
And there's Gordon. He goes to ground. To Glover. And Glover gets it with some space, and he tries to bowl over Metuase, but Metuase having none of it. He puts Glover on the ground. Chile competes for the ball. They've still got 6 on the field, and that's Will Muir. We've liked what we've seen from Will Muir over the weekend. And that's Gyrie once again. Ships it out to Kingham. Kingham now to Edwards. 2 on the corner. Ducati and Glover. Glover finds plenty of space thanks to the work of Ducati to drag a defender out of the gap and create a large hole for Glover to run through. Another try for England.
Well, Chile will be back to full strength after that, but is it too little too late? Was that period of being 1 and 2 men short lethal in their quest for 3rd place here in San Jose? England have put in 2 big tries. Glover's a player is really, as I said, kind of silky, but he's really impressed me. He scored there on the outside, but he's gone through the middle on several occasions and created for others, and he's pretty deft with the ball in hand as well as one-handed offloads. Pretty impressive.
Glover of England Sevens, but I think he's back at Newcastle as a student. Scores the try and puts England up by 3 scores. So back to full strength for the first time since the 5th minute of the first half. Big looping pass over the top. Brangier again skips out of one tackle and then down through the other. Nice little run there. Vershai trying to find some help. Brangier, he'll take it up, not afraid at all. And Martin Vershai to Uros. Numbers on the near side. He'll try to use them. That's Martin Vershai. Gives it up to Metuase, and Metuase does a pirouette, finds a little space, runs into Edwards. Now, is there numbers on the corner yet for Chile? There certainly are. And that is number 8, Garafulic. Garafulic, the business student from Santiago, just 19 years old.
Well, that's the team support play from Chile we've seen throughout, backing each other up.
Well, they'll need to go quickly. There's a minute and some change, but they'll need to regather this restart. We've seen them do it before. The target is usually Brangier. How much gas does the 29-year-old have in the tank? The captain, who's celebrating his birthday and would love nothing more than to win 3rd place in the Silicon Valley Sevens. It's already been a weekend full of gifts for that young man. But they go away from Brangier, and instead England, with less than a minute now and control of the ball. Run by Dewar, the try scorer, Dewar. Dug out by Kingham. Kingham across to Gyrie. Now Edwards, then Ducati. Now it is the danger man, Harry Glover. Back inside, a beautiful dish. Nobody home for Chile.
He took a hit when he gave it as well.
Glover sacrifices the body but gets the ball into the right set of hands. That is Ducati.
We're going to see the conversion, but after that, we're going to see the replay of this. Again, a one-handed pass, but he took a bit of a knock, too.
Well, England wants to play a little bit of rugby. Now, they could have milked the clock. Check out Harry Glover. The hit on him.
Oh, he just stumbled over the tackling.
Yeah, just a little bit of a trip over the body. Here comes Metuase. He goes down.
I think he was actually trying to get out of the way after he slipped.
So England looking to put some more tries on. The result already sewn up here. They take the conversion quickly and they say, we came here across the Atlantic to play some rugby, and we're going to do just that. And
Brian,
now it's Finn Dewar.
This is respect for the game, for their opponents. They don't kick it off the field. They play on. It's a great part of Rugby Sevens. It's pretty rare that you see a team just quit.
And so now Edwards.
Yeah, good for them.
Goes wide to Glover. And why not? There's Muir. Muir is going to go freight train, trying to go over Brangier.
No way, not this weekend.
Not this weekend. Brangier's had one heck of a tournament as the captain. He's led by example all weekend long. Been very impressive. And with that knock on by England, that will do it. Congratulations to England in 3rd place after the entire tournament has been played for them. And Chile, the surprise of the tournament. Hats off to the boys from South America.
And you know, Philippe Brangier, just one final word on him. If you were to put together his highlight package from this tournament, there would not be a team in the world that wouldn't select him to their starting 7. He was outstanding, but a great cast of supporting Condors players as well.
And he'd definitely make my all-tournament team.
Yeah.
Philippe Brangier. Well done by Chile this weekend, and good job by England. So some bright spots for England as well. If you're Simon Amore looking for some young talent, some good signs.
Yeah, we noted Will Muir, really powerful, really strong on the ball. We noted Harry Glover, some really nice touches.
And Colin Hawley on the field with the captain, Will Edwards.
I'm here with England's team captain, Will Edwards. Just took 3rd place in the Silicon Valley Sevens. How'd you and the boys do against a great Chilean side here?
Yeah, well, I think we did stuck to the game plan well. We wanted to go wide, move them around, and we did what we wanted to do, so we're happy with it.
Pretty great tournament for you boys overall. Tell me, coming into this tournament, did you succeed where you wanted to?
We didn't really set any goals. We just wanted to come out better than we came in, and I think we did that.
Played some outstanding rugby. Congratulations on 3rd.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Colin. And so we have one more match. Really the dessert on what has been a solid feast of rugby this weekend, Gareth Rees. It'll be the match that you might have predicted from the very beginning, and that is Australia versus the United States coming up for the Cup final of the inaugural Silicon Valley Sevens. What are the keys, do you think, for the United States to stay with this powerful Australian team?
Possession. Possession's key, whether it's from the restarts or their lineouts. They've got to hold on to it. And U.S. have been strong. They've got to give this crowd something to cheer about early on and get them into this game.
And on the other side, Australia, what do they need to do to seal up another victory on tour this year?
Yeah, they've been super organized, very together, but their first step tackles have got to count. If they fall off any of those, this big, powerful American side will cause them troubles. The Newfie's been outstanding. Newway has been running the show, and Ben Pinkelman has been a disruptor and a provider. At the breakdown, he's been immense.
So there's the Australia lineup, and the starters will be Taylor, Kennewell, John Porch, Tim Anstey, Boyd Killingworth. Longbottom gets the nod at scrum half, and Lockie Anderson. So a few of the experienced players left on the bench by Coach Andy Friend, and he wants some of the young kids to take over. I like that, and I think Maurice Longbottom has earned the right to be the starter in this Cup final. Really a nod to his ability and the work he's done on the weekend.
Well, how about Lockie Anderson and Longbottom on the field together, the double threat? We haven't seen a lot of Lockie Anderson in the tournament, so maybe that extra bit of pace he's hoping will cause some problems for the Eagles.
You take a look at who Friend has left on the bench. Tom Lucas, Ed Jenkins, Lewis Holland, Sam Myers. These are some guys with hundreds of events on the World Series Tour. Now,
you never know, there may be some niggling injuries after 5 matches already in 2 days.
So here come the United States and Australia, the Cup final. You saw the roster for the United States. The starters will be the captain, Ben Pinkelman, Joe Schrader, who's had a great tournament, Matai Leuda, Folau Nua, Stephen Thomasine, Chris Matina, and Martin Yosefo.
Well, our crew has been outstanding covering this tournament, and the shots are exceptional, including that one. Our friend Taz joining the boys in the huddle, giving us a good look.
Well, it's interesting to see both of these teams play pretty similar styles, and they both have some pivots that can work off the hand and off the foot. We've seen Folau Nua through the hands, creating on the fly. We've also seen him off the foot, creating some good opportunities through some grubber kicks. And so the kickoff, and up goes number 10, Chris Mattina, but can't come down with the tap back for the United States. And so there is Longbottom out to Lockie Anderson, and then there's the kick through, gathered nicely by Folau Nua. Flings it wide to Martin Yosefo. He's got Schrader on his outside. He won't use him. Instead, he uses Matai Leuta. Leuta goes into contact, lays it back. There's Yosefo. Schrader digs it in. Now out to Folau Nua. Mattina tests the corner, and he goes back to Folau. Nua with the ball back, and now there's a couple of people out on the right-hand wing. Yosefo looks to pin one down. Leuta stretches his legs out, tries to get the ball.
Penalty against the Australians for not releasing the tackler.
Yeah, good job, because Killingworth was actually on the ball and not rolling away. A good call by the referee, Joe Schrader, with the tap.
It's referee Grove White who's earned this final. Just like the players, the referees are assessed, and the ones that do the best job get the final. So a big test for him, but you see the gold jerseys all over the ball, killing the momentum.
And these plays are always a read by Folau Nua. He'll assess the situation on the fly, gives it to Mattina. Mattina back to Yosefo. Yosefo tries to go through a Tim Anstey tackle, instead lays the ball back, and now the competition for the ball. Killingworth goes quickly. There's Nua. Normally at sweeper, there is no sweeper, so Nua's going to have to work to get back. Leuta. Lockie Anderson. And Leuta just measures him nicely, grabs the jersey, and prevents the try from being scored. Out to Longbottom. Watch the footwork. He'll have a go and then give it off to Anstey. Anstey through the gap and over for the tackle nicely. Nua. Nice bend but not break defense, and the ball squirts back. Pinkelman with it in hand. He'll lay it back for Leuta.
Smart play by Pinkelman not to force that pass. Waited for his troops to get back so they could secure the ruck. And the referee's going to give USA the put in at the scrum. So desperate defense from the Eagles. Look at that body language. They're all on one knee.
Yeah, Nua's tired already. And, we've seen there's only been a couple of times that Mike Friday's pulled Folau Nua from the game this entire tournament. So this is his 6th game, and he's only working on a couple of minutes rest.
You can
As
hear
the chant
crowd
starts to erupt from Avaya Stadium here, Cup final of the Silicon Valley Sevens. Ball dug out, goes to Nua. Martin Yosefo tries to bust through a gap. And instead, Pinkelman digs it out. Leuta. Good top end, but not enough to get around John Porch. And now it's Thomasine, runs over Longbottom.
Thomasine did well to keep his feet.
Leuta to Pinkelman. One left. Back inside with the ball goes Yosefo. He finds Pinkelman. They'll re-rack. Now it's Folau Nua once again. He goes to Mattina. There's 3-on-2. But Mattina finds a gap. He can't get through the grip of the jersey. Thomasine. Amazing tackle by Australia just to get enough fabric to hold on to Mattina. I thought he was through.
Advantage being played to the U.S. Aussie were offside. Quick tap from Mattia.
And Mattina goes. Folau Nua looking at his options. Goes right, goes left, over the top with the ball. Can he get it back out? Yes, he does. And it's Pinkelman. He's going to score first for the United States.
It's fitting that the captain gets the try. A team effort. All backing each other up. All offloading the ball. Barely got it away. Pinkelman only had a little bit to do at the end.
Great composure and skill work and the ability to create on the fly and kind of make something out of nothing. And credit to the entire Eagle team for keeping the ball alive. Good skill work.
Thought a key moment when Thomasine was put away as Nue looks to add the 2 extra points. He's hit the post. Will that be crucial later on? But when Thomasine was away by himself, he hit the defender, he kept his feet, and that bought time for the supporting players to arrive to keep the moment going. New hit the post, so only 5, not the extra 2.
So the try scored by the captain, Ben Pinkelman. Just a minute 30 left in the first half. Tight contest here. Cup final of the Silicon Valley Sevens. Joe Schrader goes high for the ball. Referee doesn't like the contact in the air by Schrader, so a penalty. Killingworth takes it up, gives it off to Anstey. Folanua comes in to test the ruck, and it's a penalty against Australia.
Well, Nua's taking a gamble there. He's hit the ruck hard, trying to counter ruck. Potentially could have been deemed to be coming in the side, but the referee said no.
Yeah, not only that, he said that it was, I think, sealing off was the call, and then he's giving the sign for chirping at the ref, talking back. You don't talk to the ref unless it's polite. Thomasine tries to find a gap. He does. He's got one to beat. Oh, and he'll go his own. On his own is Stephen Thomasine, busts a gap, and then breezes by one more Australian defender for the second try for the United States.
Well, I talked about the Australian tackling. It was going to have to be 100%, and USA Sevens right now is dominating. The sweeper missed the tackle on Thomasine. That got the U.S. their second try. Look at this. He backs himself, and the sweeper comes across. Not good enough from Lewis Holland.
And Thomasine, what a great story. The young man from San Diego. And Nua slots the conversion. Nearly a full moon in the mountains behind us. It's a beautiful scene here at Avaya Stadium, and it's even more beautiful if you're cheering for the U.S. Eagles right now, who have taken a 12-0 lead into the last ticks on the clock of this first half, but the kickoff will be allowed, and so Australia with a chance to answer. Martin Iosefo goes up high for the ball, goes knocked back into the hands of Australia. Good cover tackle coming across for the U.S. Australia hasn't had a whole lot of ball. There's Kennewell. Kennewell tries to go through the tackle of Ben Pinkelman. Not going to happen. Pinkelman gets up, has another tackle, and now tries to counter ruck. Never released the tackle player, says the referee. So Kennewell tries to step through a tackle, gets it to Anstey. Anstey to the ground. Porch in support. Kennewell tries to run over Matina. Porch digs it out to Holland. Holland now looks to Ed Jenkins. And Jenkins fends off a would-be tackle from Matai Leuta and lays one down. And just like that, Australia back in the game.
You think Andy Friend sitting on the bench saying, I got one of the best sevens players in the world, and Ed Jenkins sitting next to me, and I think I'd like to see him out there on the field. Got that ball and made it happen.
Well, and you can see some of the substitutions. We talked about at the beginning of the game, leaving some of the old guard on the bench, and all of a sudden, Lewis Holland's back in the game, and Ed Jenkins is back in the game, and it's almost as if Andy Friend says, listen, guys, nice try. These guys will show you how to do it. Watch them closely.
Yeah.
So the attempt by Holland to convert the Jenkins try goes wide. And so at the break, by 7 points, the United States leads Australia 12-5. Well, it's been an exciting final so far. First half action.
Far and away the two best teams assembled here in San Jose. High level of skill. As we said, one missed tackle or one wrong step.
And
these teams are scoring tries off it.
I'm impressed at the pride of the defense on both sides. You saw that Chris Matina looked like he was through a gap and off, and I think if his shirt was tucked into his shorts, he probably would have scored that try. Instead, it's just a bit of nylon in the fingertips of an Australian tackler. And on the other side, the United States does the same thing as we take a look at Mike Friday in the huddle.
Good shots of him. He's obviously led this Eagles team to victories around the world in the last few years. I think this one's will be a little bit different. Some younger players being a part of this, and the fact that it's on home soil here in San Jose. Equally, that Australian team. Australians love to win whatever sport they're playing, and they've been on a bit of a tear lately. And they want to add the inaugural Silicon Sevens Cup to their trophy cabinet.
Friday continues to give instructions in the huddle. And now, last attempt here, Ben Pinkelman. A few last comments. Well, in the same manner that it was great for Australia to be able to come away with some victories for their young charges after Munich and at the Central Coast back in Australia, how great would it be for these young Eagles to be able to pull off a victory at the inaugural Silicon Valley Sevens?
What a nice luxury, too, for Coach Mike Friday to have some selection difficulties. So many players putting their hand up here in this tournament for selection.
No release in the tackle by Lockie Anderson there. So Folau Nua, after a nice take from Pinkelman in the air, will put it into touch, and they'll go for a line out. Lots of rugby left to play. It's a 7-point lead, but that is a very fragile lead in a sevens match.
Yeah, things happen quickly. USA slowing things down, but no, they can't play the clock for 6.5 minutes. Clock should be running there, although it's been stopped for a substitution on the field for the USA. Kevon Williams.
And Leuta takes a break. Kevon Williams out of Houston, playing for the Denver Barbarians, and now at the Olympic Training Center. Gets his first shot, ball in hand. He'll try to skin the outside. A nice job to bottle him up. Jenkins somehow steals the ball and lays it back for Australia. And there's still a few Eagles wondering how that just happened. Anstey works it outside. And there's John Porch. Porch brings it back inside, goes to Lockie Anderson. Anderson slips the tackle of Matina. And now to the outside. It's Jenkins. Pinkelman trying to contain him. He does well to keep him in the right-hand touchline, but another score for Australia. And the work on the ground, the clinical work, the speed of that poach is pretty incredible by Jenkins. He's the one who started it off, and he finishes it.
Yeah, fitting that it comes all the way back to the same point where he stole the ball. That's his strength. Big kick here. Australia down by 2. Lewis Holland lining it up. A tough angle for him was a right footer. He's completely pulled it. So, U.S. keeps the lead. All to play for here. 4.5 minutes left. Holland would also take the restart for Australia.
So Holland with the restart, not going to go 10. Free ball for the United States at the halfway line. A gift from Holland.
Hey, Brian, that's a big gift. U.S. weren't sure if they can get possession off the kickoff. They're now sure they got possession at halfway. Niue's going to control traffic. And we can see if some of these big Eagles can carve a hole in the golden wall.
And Nua loves this. He'll take a little bit of a feign to the left. Now he goes right. Back behind a runner to Thomasine. Thomasine lays it back. Nua there in support. And it's Schrader Maka Nufe notices the line speed. A high tackle on Anufe. He's counting his teeth right now, it looks like.
A few chiclets on the field.
So Nua gets another chance. Pretty much same spot. He'll tap and he'll bait the Australians to come forward again and kind of show their hand. Watch him left. He went left and then right last time. This time he goes back behind to Anufe. Yosefo trying to find some space. Finds Anufe once again. Big fend. And then Kayvon Williams. Yosefo. Now it's Thomasine. Pinkelman. And now Schrader. The big man. 6'5". Not the fastest on the field. And Pinkelman goes to work against Jenkins. Now it's Yosefo. And Maka Nufe tries to bust a tackle. He breaks one. He goes to Kayvon Williams. Williams! Oh, just barely touched. Amazing stuff. He slips to the ground. And then he's on his way back up. The cover defense from Australia, outstanding.
Just that right hand kept going down, missed the jersey, but got the ankle.
And Boyd Killingworth comes across. And if Killingworth isn't there, it's a try for Kayvon Williams. And it looked like the attempted tackle on Williams, and he just gets a heel on that orange boot.
And Australia making subs, and that man now is on the field. Longbottom throwing it at the line out. A lot of pressure, but Australia maintained possession.
Nua drops back to sweeper. Kennewell with the ball. Australia working from deep within their own half. The counter ruck by the United States. Uh-oh. Danger time. It spills, but it goes into the hands of Longbottom, and that is the last chance for Pinkelman, who's outpaced, and now it's Schrader. Goes 100 meters to try to prevent Longbottom from centering the ball under the sticks. He does well. What an effort by Schrader. And the United States, Gareth, had stuck all their resources into the counter ruck, but they couldn't control the ball. It squirts out the side and ends up in the hands of Maurice Longbottom.
But at this level, the sevens game is always on a knife edge. You make your bets, you roll the dice, whatever it is, the analogy. But you're right, they committed to trying to get that ball back. They didn't. And when you've got talent and speed like Maurice Longbottom, you better not give him any space. The kick is up, and it's no good.
No good. So 3 points is the difference right now. 1 minute left to play.
Well, over the years, we've seen Carlin Isles, Perry Baker. Those guys win in the last minute for U.S. They're not on the field here. Who's going to step up? A minute to play.
A chance for some last-minute heroics, literally in the last minute. First, the United States needs to secure possession. High in the air goes the captain, Pinkelman. And now it's Thomasine. Thomasine. He'll re-rack it. And then Yosefo finds Anufe. Folau Nua. He'll go way over the top. It's Williams, the pace man on the corner. How pacey is he? Can't beat Jenkins out wide. Ball squirts onto the ground. Folau Nua, big over-the-top pass. It's Yosefo who grabs it. Al-Jabori. You can see that Australia not devoting a lot of resources to the ruck. They're happy to play defense. They don't want to give up any gaps on the side of the contact area.
Right through the middle.
They've disrupted the ball. They've gone through the middle, and they've won the ball. Classic Australian rugby, and Australia is going to hang on. Australia, third tournament cup championship in a row. And heartbroken fans here at Avaya Stadium. No dishonor in losing to Australia. They were the team to beat coming in, and that is the reason why, composed all the way down to the last minute. Gareth Reese.
No, but there will be some frustration. They may even look to that last ruck. I thought Australia were very lucky to not be penalized there. Superb effort from those USA Eagles in the white jerseys. but probably just by an inch. The Aussies were more complete and took their chances. And in young Maurice Longbottom, we have a new star of the global game, in my opinion.
A great final. Absolutely captivating stuff. And you knew, we talked about it at halftime, 7 points wasn't going to be enough. And clinging to a narrow 2-point lead even after the second try from Australia, and they just figure out a way to win. And that's what they did today against a very mixed United States Eagles team. Some experience mixed with some youth. You got to give a nod to some of these young kids, the likes of Joe Schrader, who really stepped up through the weekend. Chris Bettina showed himself well.
Well, I think once Mike Friday, the consummate competitor, gets over his disappointment of not lifting the cup, he will be very happy with what he's found out about his American players, the likes of Schrader. He knows what they're capable of. He knows the areas to work on. But that really is the story today. Australia tight in their preparation, and clearly as a team, as a unit, they all knew their roles, and they all delivered in the big moments.
Some congratulatory hugs throughout the Eagle team, and it really was well played. Some great moments this weekend from Folau Nua, leading with his experience. Thomasine, Ben Pinkelman, they showed their class, and the reason why they've become regulars on the World Series Tour. Just fabulous play, gutsy stuff.
Thomasine played at another level. I don't think I've seen him play like this. He was superb, and kind of brought the other players along with him.
So Australia, one last little huddle, put a cap on their third victory in a row, and
how about that, man?
Now,
bit of a roll in the final, eh?
Ed Jenkins comes over for a word with our Colin Hawley down on the sideline.
Here with Ed Jenkins on the sideline, seasoned veteran for the Australian squad, and now Silicon Valley Sevens 2017 Cup champions. 2 tries in the final against a very tough USA team. How'd you guys go?
Yeah, it was a gutsy effort by all our boys. We had a few guys there with injuries that didn't take the field, so I guess the guys that did, it was gutsy on their behalf, and US played really well, and we had to fight back hard to win that one.
You guys played amazing tournament. You went undefeated this entire time. What are you going to take away from this tournament as you go on throughout the season?
Yeah, just a lot of belief. It's been, I think, since 2012 that the teams won a cup final, so the boys did really well over in Munich, and they won that one. We've got another one here, so we're building nicely into the World Series and getting a lot of confidence out of it.
Well done. Congratulations on the cup final. Go celebrate with your team. Cheers.
Well, Gareth Rees, that is a captain that's been there before. And many a tough contest. He's lost a lot of cup finals, and he's won some cup finals as well, has Ed Jenkins. Knows what it's like to be on the losing end, and a deserved victory for a side that's spent some time together in the last couple months and had some high-quality opponents. United States, maybe not as many high-quality opponents as Australia of late, but a good preparation. Would you say this tournament has accomplished the goal of preparing some young players for the series?
Oh, I think so. And Ed Jenkins been there before. For Australians, good thing he wasn't on the bench for the second half, because he was one of the difference makers. But I think it not only prepared them, but it's revealed some players what they can do at this level, the pace of this game. For people new to Sevens rugby, hopefully you enjoyed it. Got to say to our crew here, some of the people new to the game themselves, absolutely outstanding coverage. They tell the story, and I think it's a game that we're going to see a lot of here in North America, and we really enjoyed it. Get out to Vegas March 2nd and 3rd if you want to see more Sevens.
Good look there at Lewis Holland and Tom Lucas and Lockie Anderson. There's Kennewell and Ed Jenkins.
Well, Andy Friend maybe didn't know much about Chile, but he knows how to win sevens tournaments.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's going to come out of this tournament is people are going to start to have to get some film on Chile.
Yeah, it wasn't until this team, England, kind of figured them out by the end, beat them for that bronze medal, that third place game.
They did. There's the captain for the United States, Kayvon Williams, right next to Ben Pinkelman, who was the captain. Big Joe Schrader in the back. There's Ryan Mattias and Chris Bettina.
I think
Martin
it's good,
Yosefo.
Brian, that we're seeing the disappointment on their faces. You don't want teams to get used to losing finals like that. They know they put in a great effort, but equally, they're competitors.
And here is England to claim the bronze medal at the Silicon Valley Sevens here in San Jose at beautiful Avaya Stadium. There's big Will Muir getting his, and you wonder, Gareth, in a year or so, maybe even by the end of the next couple months.
Yeah.
You know, will we see some of these English players? Certainly Harry Glover, Ethan Waddleton, and Will Edwards have been there before. You wonder if anyone else will stick their hand up.
Always nice to have some hardware at the end of 2 days' work. And, fitting too that their staff gets in the photo. A nice little team behind these teams. They prepare all week. Travel schedules are tough. Well done, England.
So a memory to take home. A little souvenir for the English team. And they built well through the weekend and some good moments. And Ben Pinkelman will lead the U.S. Eagles through the medal ceremony, and they'll take a silver medal. They won't be happy about it, but they lost to a well-composed team in Australia, and as we mentioned, certainly no dishonor in that. But I think, like you said, it's telling that you can see the disappointment on their faces, and I think that's what you really want as a coach. You don't want anybody to be happy with second place.
Yep, they can have another chance on home soil at the USA Sevens to maybe go one step further and get the gold.
So there are the U.S. Eagles, who played all the way into the Cup final and came up just 3 points short against Australia, who will now step up and receive the gold medal.
This is a team that's hosting its own stop on the World Series in Sydney, but also the Commonwealth Games, which is important for the Commonwealth nations. And all these teams keeping one eye on the World Cup of Sevens.
There is
going to be
John
in San
Porge
Francisco next summer.
Kennewell. Longbottom. Another gold medal for Longbottom. Myers, there's Ben O'Donnell, who was injured on day one and unavailable today, and then finally Lewis Holland at the back. So busy year coming up, Gareth Rees.
It is indeed. Lots going on. This was a great start to the season. Johnny Hinkin with the cup there.
There's the cup. And the winners of the inaugural Silicon Valley Sevens. So as you mentioned, next month the World Series begins in Dubai.
Yep.
Then to South Africa, and a short break until teams regather in Sydney. And that is one that Andy Friend has targeted for Australia as a must-win at home, as the teams are all going to assemble now for a big group photo.
After that, on to Hamilton in New Zealand, and then USA Sevens in Las Vegas, March 2nd and 3rd, and then up to Vancouver for March 11th, 12th.
All right, been a long weekend here. Plenty of rugby coming up. The World Series begins in a month. The Commonwealth Games for a lot of these teams. And after the series is over in June, they'll have a month to break before the World Cup comes back to the United States for the first time. And so for the crew here in San Jose at Avaya Stadium, this has been a United World Sports production. The executive producers, Jeff McDowell and Blake Mannion, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next year, hopefully same time, same place. It's been a great weekend. Thank you, everybody.